You're alone in the rain, been thinking of you. Yesterday I got it fine.
What a time it has been. A time of celebrating with friends, family, and partners as we begin the new year. It has truly been an astonishing year. Is that right, Boya? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you're setting a bad mood for the video!
I can't help it, alright? It's been 2 months!
Huh?
And I'm so sick!
You see now what I have to work with. Well, to answer your question, well, for starters, 1, you're a persona, so relationships are out of the question. Secondly, if you truly want to get a girlfriend, then get a bloody job! Alright, stop the waterwork, boyo. How about this? You choose what we review for the video.
Really?
Yes, as a sign of good faith from the Lord himself. Sounds good?
Alright. But no take backs, alright?
Yeah, whatever. And then pick one already, for God's sake, man. Picked one already?
Yeah.
Oh, finally. Alright lads, on this episode we're going to be talking about How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the video. Now I know it has been some time since our last video. Now I know in our last video we tried to go full serious in that video to only gain 24 subscribers.
Actually 26. My dad just subscribed.
Thank you, basically. But anyway, you don't need to worry about this series. We're not gonna go full serious in this series. We're gonna be our same old usual self, right? Is that right, Sean? This is what I get. This is what I get for being nice. This is all your fault, you know. You told me to be nice to him. This is what I get. You and I are gonna have a conversation later. Hey, you said no take backs. Hey. Yes, I did. And I am honoring those words. It's just... you could have chosen something else. What is wrong with this series? Well, for starters, the story is very repetitive, the characters are so stereotypical, the comedy is so predictable, and the characters look so alike that you can't tell them apart, especially the girls. Okay, Sean, but let me ask you this. Do you still want to watch it? Yes. And what is the series called? A Reason to Watch. So stop procrastinating and start the video. Fine. On this episode of Reason to Watch, we're going to be talking about a hidden anime classic called The World That God Only Knows. Because God only knows about this show. No one else does. Now, if you haven't heard of this series, then allow me to play a clip that you have come across during your searches when you were looking for anime. Remember now? This series was written by legendary manga author Tamaki Wakaki, who has written some amazing mangas, and also recently had one more of his works to be adapted into anime last year, and having another one of his work to be adapted soon. Wakaki Sensei has set the standard when it comes to creating an iconic protagonist, as every single one of them starts out with predictable characteristics to then change their views on themselves near the end of the series. He truly is great at creating compelling romantic stories, which is why it's surprising that no one else makes a video on YouTube about this series. Recap channels don't count, which is truly surprising, which we'll talk about now in Storytime. Now, I know I said that this series story is very repetitive, its comedy is predictable, the girls are so stereotypical, and its premise is quite lackluster. But yet, surprisingly, it's still quite great to watch, because the story changes from a fourth wall breaking comedy parody that we usually get, to then questioning the fragility of the actions of the protagonist. The story starts out in your typical, the protagonist signs a binding document that forces him to do a task, and if he does not complete the task, he gets killed.
Like you do.
Anyway, to then shift its tone to then questioning the brevity of what they're doing, what the lost soul, and whether the actions of the protagonist has done would have consequences in the end. Truly thought-provoking writing was used when it came to creating this series. Because love can't be labelled as an action. It's something that happens unexpectedly, which is something that these characters are going through, which we'll talk about now. Now, before we begin, I'd first like to say that we're not going to cover every single character in this series, as they don't appear until the 3rd season. So please keep that in mind if we don't cover your favourite character. Now, with that said, let's start things off with the girl who is so passionate about fire engines, Elucia De Lute Ima, or Elsie.
So cool! Fire engine! Fire engine! Fire engine!
What an adorable little dunce you are. Now, this airhead appears in the first episode and is the second main character of this series. You good there, Sean? I'm good. Okay. Elsie is a demon from hell. Yes, that hell. Who came, not funny, to Earth after being assigned to the Lost Souls team, where she must find a buddy to help her capture the loose souls. Now, with that explanation done, you guys probably want to hear my thoughts on her. You want to know what I think of her? I think she's an incredible, wholesome, written character. You see, lads, what makes Elsie such a great character is her lack of ignorance. You see, throughout the series, we see Elsie get bullied by her peers and her buddy. Yet despite that, Elsie stays true to herself. She never changes and she never falters, because she is who she is, which is something that everyone these days should be like. Because if you don't accept yourself, then who the hell are you anymore? Now, with that out of the way, laddies, let's move on to the voice behind Elsie. Because Elsie's execution was truly hard to compare. because the voice actresses that were portraying her, both dub and original, really did an amazing, compelling job portraying Elsie's characteristics, which we'll talk about now. For Elsie's original voice, it was performed by the voice of an angel, Kanae Ito.
肩の力抜こうよ。なんで意地悪するのよ。この私が入部してあげるって言ってるのに。私も友達が欲しいのよ。私ってほら完璧じゃない？そっか。かのちゃんとは毎日部活で会えてたけど、たの？へえ、すごい。本格的。エンテイスラから持ってきた大方神教会の宝具を質や無技法で監禁したからな。無心鉄鋼。きっとパパ会うなはママ。見えた。ちょっと手遅れかも。クラウドより一直線。クジラの森でいさかいが。あれって何番からくり？で、小田に仕官したいんだって。何よ、何なのよ。これから使えようっていう大将の名前を間違えるなんて。あんた本当にバカじゃないの？見て見て、さんちゃん。そんなことないよ。ぼっちの高校生活なんて死んでも嫌。カナセカノンです。全部私のせいですね。すみません、お兄さん。
And as for Elsie's dubbed voice, it's by the legendary maiden herself, Lucy Christina.
Well, hello there. Thank you for signing the contract, Divine One. Then off we go. When I ran a wide-range scan, there was a response. I'm not ma'am, I'm Elucia De Lute Ima, but everyone calls me Elsie.
Hey everybody, I am Lucy Christian, because you get to watch me dub.
Ah, Miss Christina, you truly are an adorable. What was that? Nothing. I said nothing. Really? Because I'm pretty sure you just said she was a... Say another word and you'll be breathing through a fucking tube. Moving on, this next character we're going to talk about started out to be a background character, to then get an episode of her in the second season where she becomes one of the girls to be conquered, to then being the girl who puts Keima's whole philosophy and view of life into perspective, Chihiro Kosaka.
If I could ask, could you please forget about what happened in the bath? It was embarrassing. Why are you reading it out loud? Why shouldn't I read it out loud? You wanted him to know, right? So, how about you tell us what happened in the bath?
Chihiro first appeared in the first season of the series, to then be one of the girls to be possessed by a lost soul, so the protagonist has to date her in order to release the loose soul, and finally to be the girl who opened his eyes and heart to love.
I'll tell you what, doofus. Well, that's a relief. I was not looking forward to being a part of that mess at all. Oh, okay. Just be ready to be blown away. Bye-bye.
With that type of character synopsis, the lads probably think Chihiro is just average, right? Which is why she is so great. You see lads, every girl we met throughout the series were shoo-ins of character archetypes that we are familiar with, like Tsunderes, Dares, Ojos, Gekis, Aideru, Senseis. So when we have someone like Chiharu, it puts in perspective on how we view individuals. Because an individual is not determined by her characteristic. No, it is determined by her personality. Because if you go for someone for their stereotypical archetype, now as for the voice of Chihiro, it's quite interesting with her character. You see, when it comes to the dubbed version of Chihiro, she was dubbed by 3 different actresses for 3 seasons. Which I do not have the information on why they did this. Maybe it was for money reasons, or maybe they couldn't make it, or maybe they felt sick. But surprisingly, it really quite stands out when you watch a dub, as the character's voice changes from one tone to another to another. So it makes you concentrate on her character a lot. So before I go on and on about the story behind this, let me just tell you about the original voice of the character. So for Chihiro's original voice, It is portrayed by the voice of Joy herself, Miss Kana Asume.
青女1年、吉原愛菜。ティンベルを辞めてピーカブーに入会します。ホタルは今度の連休どっか行くの？ホタル、日誌書いててくれたんだっけ？何？違うよ！焼き餅とかそういうんじゃ全然ないの。なんていうか、さようなら！んじゃダメじゃねえか。私もこれ見てきたんだよ。来るつけは血を割り。みんな聞いて！デルゾゲードへ行くことに決めたよ。じゃあ、護衛は本当にいらないから。ゆうべは危ないところでしたね。私がいなければ、今頃大変なことに。うひゃー、さすが地球！朝から充実っぷりがパネっす！日曜日万歳！何さらっととんでもないこと言ってるんですか。そもそも、前のホームルームで、うちのクラスは何もやらないって話になりましたよね。皆さん、はじめまして。立花まりかと申します。ガク様！ずっとお会いしたかったですわ。けど、哲郎くんが映画に出たら女子たちキャーキャー言いそうかも。私も裏方とかなら手伝えるかも。どうやら君はそうじゃないみたいだね。カンバル駿河さん。覚えていてくれたんだ。暇に明かせてね。それはここに全ての答えがあるからなのだよ。答えがあれだ。葵、久しぶり。小学校以来だね。やっと登りに行けるね。何言ってんのよ。動いてるよ。ずっと心配してたの。そうくんには連絡つかないし。
Now for the dub. Like I said, 3 different voice actresses. For the first season, Chihiro was dubbed by the voice of QT's herself, Serena Vargarci. For the second season, Chihiro was voiced by the voice of excellence herself, Miss Brittany Karbowski.
What does that mean anyway? How does this help me get closer to him? What? I can't memorize all this.
Do it!
And for the third season, Chihiro was dubbed by the voice of Moe herself, Miss Cynthia Martinez.
Getting a little too clingy, doofus. Let's go. Huh? What the heck does that mean? He has a reason for it.
A reason?
I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, he thinks it's important. I can only tell you to ask him what's going on if it gets weird.
You know something, Sean? I think we chose the wrong profession. What makes you say that, Royal? Because if we did choose a different profession by now, we would have been so lonely. As my colleague is in deep despair, let's finish this off with the protagonist of this series, Keima Katsuragi, the god of conquest. Shut up!
I am the god of conquest, a god of the gaming world.
To say that Keima is a unique protagonist wouldn't be something unusual these days. But for the time, Keima was unique for who he was. You see, when the first time we meet Keima, he's a refined, well-dressed, intellectual individual with a bit of a god complex. Again, something that we're used to these days. But yet, despite Keima's ostentatious personality, I can honestly say, Keima feels like a genuine person. You see guys, what the British Scotsman is trying to say is that throughout this series, Keima's views and traits change after every girl he conquers, as he comes to realize the inanity of his beliefs. He even goes so far to denying his emotions, which is something that happens to everyone during their teenage years. Teenage angst. Inside Out 2 coming to cinemas June 14th. So set your calendars. Boss, are we sponsored by Disney by any chance? Of course. Hope you enjoy that free promotion, you bastards. Anyway, Keima is a greatly written character, as she is a metaphor for growing up. Which is why when it comes to my personal list of anime protagonists, Keima is in the top 10. And I'm not going to tell you what number he is. Now with that all settled with his story and his characteristics, let's talk about the voice behind Keima. For Keima's original voice, it was portrayed by the ultimate simp himself, Hiro Shimono.
僕も呼ばれてるんだが、水戸くんって。名字が同じだからしょうがないだろ。バカも休み休み言え、逆だろ。僕が兄さんだ、君の。半年前にね、あれよあれよという間に島に連れてこられたよ。僕は父さんの言いなりでここに来たんだよ。期待に応えたくてね。リーダーなんてとても器じゃないよ。いやー、これ以上飲めないよ。俺は女の子にお茶をぶっかけたりしないぜ。こっから南行くと俺の村が近いんだぜ。おい、エレンたちだ。よし、やばいやばいやばい。遅れたらまたマイ先輩に回し蹴り食らう。大きなお世話だ。待ってください。君はガイウス・プリニウス・セクンドゥースを知っていますか？写真で見てたが生で見ると気色悪いな。不安だな。まさかこのイカレ女を入れるんじゃねえよな。うるさいんだけど、どっか出かけんの？友達ってどんなやつ？ま、頑張れ。なんだったんだ今の。あれ？何これ？痩せてる。それになんでレベル120のクレバーモンキー倒したのに未だにレベル1なんだよ。
ハッピーバースデートゥーユー。ハッピーバースデートゥーユー。ハッピーバースデー。こちら。
And as for Keima's dubbed voice, it is portrayed by the mysteriously cornered Chris Patton.
Tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
So I'm going to be all enthusiastic when I do this, okay? I'm prepping right now.
Look, I've already explained my feelings towards this series from the very beginning of this video. It's a very flawed anime. Yet, despite that, I still want to watch it. Yes, this series is not the most talked about by anyone, yet it's still entertaining to watch. Its story, characters, music, locations, and 2000s nostalgia makes a good time capsule series, as the series reminds us of how it was back then when, before social media took over, before everyone who wants to get to know someone, they had to interact with someone, instead of going online, going to Instagram, Facebook and all that. It really was a simple time back then. I would give anything to go back to those times. Which is why this series is a reason to watch, whether you're new to anime or you're already a regular. So check it out yourself. You won't regret it. I promise you that. Now, was that so hard, Sean? No, but I'll tell you one thing though. What's that? Keima has a better chance of getting a girlfriend than you will ever have. Come on, boy, it's just a joke. Can't you take a joke? I know. It's just that I remember your weakness now. My weakness? What are you talking about? You bastard. Never underestimate the power of adorability. Shit. Hi everyone, Barney Silan here, the progenitor of Brian and Sean. Now I know it has been some time since my last post, and some of you may be wondering why I haven't posted anything over the month. Well, the reason for that is I was commissioned to do another video for a private event, so that's why I didn't post anything. I decided to take 1 month off YouTube and focus my attempt at that video and then take some time off to relax my mind. Now I'm all relaxed, I'm focused, and I'm back to doing what I want to do. So to those who out there who thought I quit, I'm not quitting. I still need to show my talents out there. So if you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, as we want to show you guys that we're genuine and we want to do more with our content. And you have the power to do that. So please consider subscribing. Well, usually Brian and Sean says goodbye, but they're currently passed out. So I guess I'll say I'll do the ending then. Thank you for watching the video. I'm Barney Sinan saying Nandri, Vanakkam.